All right, finally up and running here. So I had another live stream scheduled, and was trying to go in there and edit some things before going live, and I actually just went live, and I didn't like that because I wasn't ready and I wasn't in my right spot, so had to shut that one down. So if anybody was trying to get on that and then it said it was private, that's why. Um, it also sucks that I don't have my background. Um, Whenever I've gone live in the past, I've gone through StreamYard, Yardstream, whatever it is. And I can do my green screen in the background, but I didn't do that this time because I wanted to try to be more in real time. When I do Yardstream, there's a delay with what I'm doing and what people are commenting, so I was missing a lot of stuff. But anyway, I'll just kind of go into it for now. I just wanted to share a couple things. The first thing was that I don't know if so for anybody that was with me since last year, about a year ago, I had launched the Thanks for the Words website, thanksforthewordscom, and a while back, basically the site went down because the person that had kind of come in with me on doing that kind of had some life stuff happen, and they cut out, and then everything from that site was erased, which was unfortunate. I had some articles on there that I had written, and then I just shared like some of the different videos and podcast recording up. Bad news is there's only 2 things on it now. I hope the connection is not going to be a problem. Anyway, so thanksforthewords.com is back up. Again, there's not a whole lot going on it right now, but it's there. I've got 2 things posted. I think I'm going to try to start doing some more writing. So in addition to videos, things that I don't end up doing videos on, I might write some pieces on. So that'll be something to look forward to. I thought it was interesting. I was, sort of experimenting with scheduling a live event, because I know that when you schedule a live event, it shows up in the top of people's feeds, like your subscribers' feeds. And I was thinking, like, because I noticed before when I did a live notification or whatever scheduling, sometimes I would like pick up a couple subs, like without even doing anything, like just the fact that I had something there, like for whatever reason, it caught someone's attention and I would get a sub. But this time I put the thing up, I put the notification up, and then like the next morning I had lost a sub. I was like, damn, that's kind of cold. Like my rule is, here's the thing: you're allowed to unsub only after watching a video, because then it's actually based on my content. Which actually, honestly, it's if someone unsubs because of that's kind of a good thing, because the ultimate goal is to have a kind of a community of people who are interested in what I'm doing and who are kind of like-minded, or at least think the same way in terms of sort of how we approach different problems with the world and all that. So, that's not a bad thing. And it's a good evening from the UK. Oh, cool. Mithril. So this is the Lord of the Rings. Wow. Hello. That's awesome. That's always so cool when I connect with somebody literally across the world. That's really, so I was going to just, like I said before, just sharing the news about the website. Thanksforthewords.com is back up. And the good thing about these live videos is they do play back. So people can still watch this later, even if they're not here right now. Because I wanted to comment on a couple things. So somebody had mentioned yesterday I close out the questioning the consensus, and I just wanted to tell a brief story of that. I know I've talked about it before in the past, but the don't be afraid to question the consensus. So where that was born out of was when the this started off as just a podcast exclusively. It wasn't a YouTube channel in the beginning. It was just the audio, and it was called the 10th Man. And the 10th man rule being, if 9 people agree with something in a room, then it's your responsibility as that 10th person to kind of question that conclusion and kind of just raise the devil's advocate position on it. And just the idea being that oftentimes people kind of fall into that sort of herd mentality and jump on an idea, and it sort of gains credence the more people agree with it. It has a snowball effect. So that was sort of the intention of the podcast from the outset, being that 10th man in the room. And so when I was recording my first episode, didn't have anything planned. I just kind of was closing out, and then it just came out. Don't be afraid to question the consensus, in the context of this story I was telling about being that person to do that, because sometimes that's an important step in solving problems is saying like, hey, wait a second, maybe there's another way we can look at this. So and it just kind of stuck. Don't be afraid to question the consensus. And I started saying it. And then when I really knew that it was like my trademark closeout was the one time that I didn't say it. And somebody was like, hey, you didn't say question the consensus. So I was like, okay, well, being noticed now. So that's good. I also wanted to that I want to put it out there in the universe, in the ethers of YouTubedom, that I am intending to produce a documentary, actually, something that I've been kind of toying with for a while. And so I figure if I put it out there, then now I'm responsible for following through. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, much like wanting to do the podcast was something that I wanted to do for a long time. And this pandemic has, I guess, in some ways helped push me to start attempting some of these other projects that I wanted to do. So there's that. I won't get into too much about what is on the documentary. I feel like I think kind of tease it a little bit at a time as I'm working on it. I don't want to obviously like give away the whole thing before it's even made, but I will say that it's definitely very much in line with the theme of my channel and the whole Thanks for the Words 10th Man thing. So I think the concept is something that the people that follow me here already would be interested in. So I'll probably do like little teasers, or maybe even do like one of those behind the scenes things of like recording like the making of, and maybe share some of that. Let's see. I'm lucky, I suppose. My parents raised me to always question. It has left me nearly unemployable, of course, but I'm okay with that. Well, I mean, I think that if it's the right employer, they would be smart to have somebody like that. I think leadership does well to have people that will question them, and that they're not so insecure with their position that they can't have somebody saying like, hey, maybe there's a better way to do this. I definitely was in the same boat growing up. Not so much with my parents specifically. Like it was not necessarily, it was one of those like, it works with everybody else, not with the actual parents. I couldn't really question them, but definitely was kind of with that mindset. And also more than just questioning things, was just like looking into things for myself, and looking, like my dad would always, if I asked him what something meant, he would tell me to go look it up. It wouldn't just be like, just tell me what it is. And that's kind of like gave me a cop out as a parent too. It's like, well, I don't actually know the answer to that, but go find out. But I think that's good too for kids to learn how to. And that was before Google. This was like you actually had to open up a book to learn stuff. All right, so there was that the documentary. So I had put up a poll. Actually, I guess I can still add it. I can add it, and then I think it'll still be here during the replay. Actually, I'm not sure how that works. I think you have to have 1,000 subscribers to be able to do actual polls on the page. But I had this option to do a poll here in the live feed. But I asked the question, just, do I come across as angry in my videos? Because I've gotten some feedback that I seem really angry. And I just don't see it that way. Like when I go back and watch them, and even just in the actual recording of it itself, like I don't feel like I'm being angry. But that's just my perception of myself. I'm certainly not intending to come across as angry. I think that sometimes the topics that I talk about, I mean, they're not always like super happy subjects. So there's that. But I don't like, I picture myself when I'm really angry, like when I'm actually angry and I'm really raising my voice and I'm like, okay, that's angry. But I don't know. I'm just kind of curious what people thought about that. So you can always just comment it if you watch this back in a regular video, but I'll try to put the poll back up and see if it stays. I don't know if it'll still be there when this isn't live anymore, though. I'm not sure how that works. And then, so the last thing I'll close out with, we have the answer. No, you don't. You come across to me as pretty calm, but sometimes the subject matter can make you rightly angry. All right, I appreciate that. That was actually, so the poll itself that I had written was, do I come across as angry in my videos? It was yes, no, sometimes, but it's warranted, and then yes, and it's annoying AF. So I was trying to get like a fair, and then as I said before, I did a thing where I accidentally went live too early on the original feed, shut it down and went live. So now the poll's not there. But anyway, yeah, so that was the kind of intention. That was my thought, was that I try to be calm. But I guess it's in your perception. Like for people that know me more in the real world, I'm usually pretty kind of like goofy, silly, and attempting to be funny, I guess. So I'm not like super jovially funny, I guess, in the video. So maybe it sort of makes me come across that way if you know me more on the outside. So I don't know. I was just wondering, like, feel free if you watch this back in the video playback later to leave a comment on your thoughts on that. Because I definitely don't want to come across as like a curmudgeon or, just like a sourpuss or something like that. But I do think it's important to talk about some of the like less than happy things, but at the same time, I think that I try to be positive too. And a lot of my older stuff, there's a lot of like positivity, and even when I talk about art and things like that, that's sort of to provide that balance. Anyway, so the last thing I wanted to share really quick, and again, you'll leave me your thoughts on in your comments if you watch this back, because I'm also curious. This is just a personal thing, personal story here. So I want to get people's opinion on this. So you're selling a car, right? You're selling your car. The person buys the car, so it's person to person, private sale, and you do all the paperwork you need to do. So title of transfer, release of liability, everything is transferred over. And then after you sell the car, a week goes by, and then the person messages you saying they state that the car was stolen and that they haven't done any of the like paperwork stuff required for DMV and all that, because they've had COVID and they've been stuck at home, and they just walked outside for the first time and saw that their car was stolen. And can you give me the VIN number? Because all my registration and everything, the title and all that stuff was in the car when it was stolen. So, okay, that's weird, right? Like leaving all that stuff in the car. Obviously, that's not super smart. And then the car gets stolen, and you've been inside for an entire week because of COVID, and you didn't see that the car was stolen. So then the kicker, uh, I get a notification through Fast Track of toll violations for going over some of the bridges nearby that have tolls. Repeat trips back and forth the next day, like the next morning after selling the car. And then just recently got a parking violation again for that next day, the day after we sold the car. $100 parking violation for parking illegally in the city. And I message the person again and try to find out if they are still looking for the car. Like, do you know, because this might be information you might need, that, you know, that the car was here. And they're like, well, the car was stolen and totaled out. And so presumably that means they got some kind of payout from insurance. This seems like a scam to me. I mean, I was just wondering what people think, because like that seems really, really convenient. Like literally that the timestamp on the toll violation for the car was the next morning, like early morning, like pre-dawn type early. And then it was repeat trips throughout the next like 12 hours that same day. And then that parking violation happened also that same day. And the owner doesn't notice any of this for a week. And then now the car is gone and it's totaled out. It just seems, I don't know, it seems super sketch to me. I was just wondering what people thought, because to me, that it just, how does that happen? How does the car get stolen that night? Like literally, and you still have all the information just left in it? That seems weird. Anyway, I kind of was trying to get people's thoughts on that. It's pain for me because now the violation is coming to my address because I guess the person hasn't finalized the ownership transfer. Although then they wouldn't have to be, they wouldn't be able to get the money for the totaling out if they weren't the legal owner. So there's that. So I would think that they must have done that they must have like done the ownership. They would have had to pay a fee to, you know, for the new owner registration fee. They had to have done that. Otherwise, then they shouldn't be getting the, you know, I don't know how they would prove that it was their car. Anyway, so yeah, it sounds like a real scam. I'm no fan of cops, but I really think in this case, yeah, I don't know how else. Like, I don't know how else to interpret it. It just seems like too crazy. It's just too weird. I don't know. It doesn't. Hopefully, I contested it just through the city that gave the violation and just showed the documentation that we had done the title transfer and everything. So hopefully that'll, you know, beyond that, it's not my problem anymore. Kind of sucks. It's just unfortunate. It was like a really cool, reliable car that I had for a really long time, and I hate that it's going from us to like trash. But anyway, please give us more of that. You need to let your personality come through. You are allowed to take the piss out of the moron's ruin. Okay, well that's all right. That's good to know. That's good feedback, because I've heard that from other people too. That like the ones where I get kind of more heated sometimes gets a good response. I try to keep my composure. I don't want to like, you know, be too vulgar or judgmental. I kind of like to try to give an air of calm, but at the same time, I think that sometimes, you know, yeah, people respond to the craziness, or just the passion, right? They call it the passion. It's not crazy, it's eccentric. I was scammed by someone with a cash for crash accident and lost my license. Wow, that sucks. I guess that would be something where like that's probably where they crashed into you, I guess. Yeah. Oh, that's horrible. That's where I'm like, I wonder if I should get a webcam. I mean, not a webcam, a dash cam for that kind of thing. Because I see these stories about stuff like that. People do these accident scams and insurance fraud and all that. It's crazy. I try to just assume the best in people. That's why it's like, it doesn't, my first instinct with this story, like part of me is like, wow, that sounds really fishy and scammy. But then I'm like, yeah, but they wouldn't do that. That's like, people wouldn't do that. But I guess, a lot of people would, unfortunately. So anyway, but yeah, so would love to hear people's thoughts on that. Check out the website if you'd like, thanksforthewords.com. I'm going to try to do more writing on there, just like things in addition to the regular channel. And then, yeah, the polls, like, let me know about the being angry versus being impassioned versus being positive versus all that stuff. And then just what your thoughts are on the car story, if you'd like. I'm curious what people think about that. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Mithril from the UK, that's really cool. Looks like somebody else just jumped in here, but I'm about to end it, so I might not know who you are, but thanks for being here. All right, I gotta go, but it was good talking to you all, and have a great rest of your day. And remember, don't be afraid to question the consensus.